I would try to always give you all an update about any new Game Mobile 2026, especially on RPG or MMORPG games genre. So as my subscriber, you will get the best experience on watching this channel. Remember to like this video and please enjoy the video off. Top 11 RPG game 2026 for Android and iOS. Action game, turn-based, open world. You guys can support this channel by sending a super thanks, and our team will appreciate that. Demons are crazy. Finally, this game comes to mobile after several years or playable on a different platform, and right now the developer make it accessible for mobile. It has a very unique gameplay where the player need to compete within the other player in a real time. It looks like MOBA concept, but the combat mechanism is fully hack and slash based. As a newbie, I'm sure it's pretty easy to learn, but trust me, it's hard to master because we need to concern about some indicator like skill build, strategy, and build up your character based on a different play role like a tanker, DPS, class, or support. We can explore a little area of open world. Get some EXP through grinding the monster to get a certain items. Once you are ready, then you start on striking the enemy and lead the world rank. A lot of characters can be collected by an in-game gold, which is no pay-to-win game RPG 2026 for mobile. The 7 Deadly Sins Origin. What a beautiful game that available on mobile. Unfortunately, I feel like the developer need to optimize the game on mobile platform, because even I have a Snapdragon Elite level processor, but the game feel a bit laggy and not smooth enough, especially when we have played it for more than 1 hour. So making an adjustment on the graphic setting will help you a lot to enjoy the game even smoother. But out of that issues, I will really give a high appreciation and also respect how they tried to give a great attention to detail. The elements the far view distance, visual, and how the combat movement seems so dynamic and aggressive. In game, we need to following the main mission to enjoy the main storyline. The combat mechanism is pretty good. We can switch the character whenever you want to adjust the combat play style based on the enemy's weaknesses. Best open world RPG game 2026 for mobile. Hellguard Online Action RPG. This game just released few moments ago, and most of the feedback said if it looks like a soul-like game mobile. It has a dark fantasy theme base, and also how the combat looks so dynamic in many action. We can block, dodge, attack, and using a different kind of weapons for close combat battle or long range one. So sword and bow will be an option to use. That's why I'm so impressed with the gameplay. By the way, we can play together with the other player when we select a certain mode. Clear the quest together and also kill the zombie to faster the progress. It has a medieval vibes, all of the character design and how the building architecture is well represented. The medieval atmosphere looks. The combat seems quite slow, but it's a good way to represent a realistic action. Anyway, we can explore the battlefield area and also safety area and ask the NPC to get some information about the current condition. Best RPG action hack and slash game 2026 for mobile. Lumin Echo of Space Time. This game is the best version of side-scrolling base because the player will have a high-quality action game RPG that looks so promising. I never imagined how a side-scrolling game has a really good visual and combat. It just looked like the next level. Unfortunately, the game is only available on a certain country, so we need to wait for it longer to release globally, because the global version trailer is not out yet. It has an exploration base, especially when we are in the city, ask the NPC and continue the storyline. With a fast-paced combat level, it will easily attract any player to play. We can switch the character, make an air combo, and deal multiple damage to the enemy by doing a combination button for them. Darkest Day. This game is really promising as a new open world game RPG that you can play in solo mode, but don't worry because we will have some partner that will come with us along the journey. The partner will become our party member as a team, so we'll fight against the zombies together. The game will set on apocalyptic world where the earth is infected by the zombies virus. With a third-person perspective, it will help the player to see the area wider because most of the zombie will come aggressively with a massive number. So this point of view will help you to anticipate. The combat mechanism is quite simple, but we need to understand how the tactical positioning works. It's really important to make a space between you and the zombie. Shoot the enemy with the gun like the shotgun or rifle, or deal an area of effect range with a grenade. It will help you a lot to wipe the enemies out at once. Always make a good preparation by making sure of your weapons number, ammo, and any durability of your gear. We need to get some resources and loot some good by killing the zombie first. Absolutely the best new RPG 2026 for Android and iOS. Oceanhorn 3 Legend of the Shadow Sea, the most beautiful game ARPG on mobile right now. This game has a very detailed and similar within Zelda Mobile. Look at everything seems so identical that I can't argue how cool the game is. It has an exploration, adventure, and even we need to solve the puzzle or hint to open up the new way out or path, but sometimes the puzzle is quite tricky, so we need to really understand the pattern to solve it. The gameplay mechanism is absolutely incredible. We can gliding, jumping to reach a certain location further, and surely we need to find a hidden area to get a treasure chest. The combat mechanism is hack and slash. All of our basic attack will deal an array of effect range, so no matter how much the enemy are, we will have a chance to kill them all much easier. We don't have to worry about locking the target, just come closer, then every action there will get unhelped by an attack assist. Hopefully it will available on Android version as well. Crisis X. I can't imagine having a AAA game RPG on mobile freely. Yes, it's free to play, even you don't have to spend any single penny to play it, because the developer tried to make it as a no pay to win game. The things that we need to do is getting some resources, craft a certain gear, weapon, and make a good preparation before facing a massive zombies number in the wild world. By the way, the game did so much testing before, and I realized how the game's progress is pretty good and significantly improved in the visual. I'm sure you will not find any single laggy issues, no matter if you set the graphic into maximum, but it should be run amazingly. Let's get back into the gameplay. The gameplay is quite hardcore because all of the zombie is so aggressive. Even we walk in a further radius meter, then the zombie will notice of our presence. In combat, we can switch the weapon of long range and also close range combat with a wooden stick or a knife, but surely the gun is the best option. Best Game RPG 2026 for Android and iOS. Dark December. Does anyone happy seeing this new dark fantasy game base? Because I realize nowadays almost all of the game has a brighter color environment, which is all players should get the anti-mainstream one. So I would be so happy if another games developer will make a dark fantasy theme concept like Soul-like game or Diablo games like, and I think this Dark December is well represented about it. We'll play in a hack and slash mechanism. Unfortunately, the combat seems quite clunky because the main hero will not move while attacking. They should make it more dynamic in action, then I am sure it will reach another level of satisfaction, because the graphic or visual is my favorite part. So it would be so nice when it have a better combat style and not just stay still once they have in combat. Anyway, we can meet the other player while we are in the safety area, then we should get into the dungeon after. The Last Elf Dark Fantasy RPG. This game has an action game with a role-playing game base. The gameplay will be concerned about the story-driven base, but in exploration around the open world. The main hero will hold a sword, and we need to play it on close combat style. Sometimes it's quite risky because most of the enemy will have a close combat range as well, so we need to always do an evasion to dodge any incoming attack carefully. But once you face the boss monster, then you need to anticipate the hazardous area, but the most important thing is, we need to learn on how the pattern work. Upgrade your character through gear progress such as a weapon or armor. Once we gain a new level, try to unlock a new skill, so it will help you a lot then. Roco Kingdom. If you really love to play a Pokemon games like, I'm sure you should try it. The game will show you how the catching path is, but also we can plant some tree of the vegetable or fruit. So there is so much activity we actually can do as a daily things. It will make the player have a lot of options to killing their time and not about fighting the monster. I would give you the basic gameplay about how the game mechanism works. We can make the best teammate by capturing the monster. Once it successfully captured, then we'll have a new pet as the partner, switching the pet and adjust the combat based on the element's weaknesses, because all of the enemy will have their own weaknesses element like fire, water, or nature. Void Hunters. This game is the newest RPG that's still on development, but the early access looks so great at all. The graphic look perfectly crafted into a realistic 3D level. The game itself will take an old school style of character design but seems so detailed. The gameplay is a turn-based system. All of the players will have a chance to attack the enemy only at one chance. The auto action will help you out to decide the best action whenever the skill has finished the cooldown. It has a dungeon base, so the player need to increase the character's level and gear. Once the stage you have reached higher, then the enemy's monster level will become higher. Remember to like this video and see you on the next list. Thanks.